Welcome to digital platform provided by Maharashtra State Board of Technical Education for the course Diploma in Medical Laboratory Techniques for the subject Immunology, subject code 19616. And so in the today's lecture we are going to discuss about few terminologies and definitions which is related to immunology. So we are dealing with what do we mean by immunology, then what is the types of immune system, what do we mean by immune system, and in today's lecture in detail we are going to discuss about the innate immunity. So when we look over the concept map of today's lecture, we firstly deals with the concept that is immunity, and along with that certain definition related to immunity is also been discussed within few moments. Then we will also see the types of immunity and how they are different from each other, what comes in the innate immunity, and what are the factors required to give acquired immunity. So we will also discuss about detail the innate immunity and the factors are responsible for innate immunity or influences the innate immunity. So in detail we are going to discuss about the whole concept, that is definitions related to immunity today's lecture, definition related to immunity, some concept related to immunity, types of immunity, and what are the factors which influence the innate immunity. So let's begin by the definition. First of all, we must know this immunity which you are seeing, it comes under a science that is known as immunology. So immunology is nothing but it is a study of immune system and immune response to a individual pathogen is known as immunology. That means whatever concept you are studying are related to immune system which will come over in a single science, and the study of that science is known as immunology. So in the immunology you are going to discuss about the immune system. So what are the concept or what comes in the concept of immunity, we will see that by the definition of immunity. So immunity can be defined as the state of resistance or in susceptibility to disease caused by a particular microorganism or their toxin product is known as immunity. Immunity in the simple sense, that is a resistance gained by a body from a particular microorganism or a toxin is known as the immunity. And now we have talked about the immunology. After discussing the term immunity, we will discuss about the immune system. So immune system is nothing but the molecules, tissue which mediate the resistance against the infection is known as immune system. That means whatever the cell and the molecules which involve to give resistance against any pathogen or a toxin, that is known as immune system. And most of the time we are saying that our immune system is very low. That means our immune cells and other molecules are functioning in very slow manner, or they are reduced in the number. It is a terminology only, and in this way in detail we have discussed about the definition of immunology, that is study of immune system. What do you mean by immunity, and what is a immune system? In detail we have discussed. So after that we will talk about the types of immunity. So when we look over this chart, you will easily differentiate that immunity, that is ability to resist any pathogenic bacteria or a toxin, is broadly divided into two types, that is innate immunity and acquired immunity. The innate immunity is also known as native immunity, while acquired immunity is also known as a specified immunity. So why it is called as acquired, why it is called as innate, we will discuss later. But you must know right now we are going to study only about the innate, that is native, that is inborn. It is also known as inborn immunity. So this inborn immunity, that means a by birth immunity. So this by birth immunity on the individual or the population, it is divided into species, racial and individual. But there are also few types, where the immunity can be also divided. So in detail we are going to discuss about the innate immunity. The innate immunity refers to a non-specified defense mechanism which play over most of the. So in the innate immunity, so what comes under the innate immunity? The innate immunity is an inborn immunity which is non-specific to most of the microorganisms. Then what comes under the innate immunity? It comes various mechanisms, that is a barrier to the skin. Skin can be barrier to most of the microorganism, hence it is a non-specific. Any microorganism can be barriered by the skin only. Certain chemicals such as sweat, etc., and certain chemicals in blood also, they are responsible to innate immunity from the foreign particles. So the innate immunity, depending upon the response, the innate immunity can be further divided into two types, that is immediate innate immunity, and the next one is early induced innate immunity. So one by one we will describe in detail what do you mean by immediate innate immunity. The immediate response shown over the pathogen when it is exposed to human body, that is it ranges from 0 to 4 hours after the explosion. That is, it involves certain molecules which are present in the blood and extracellular tissue fluids and are secreted by epithelial cells such as mucus, etc. So such compound what it does, it directly react with the pathogen, and hence this type of immunity is known as immediate innate immunity. While the other type of immunity, which is a type of innate immunity, is known as early innate immunity. In early induced innate immunity, it takes over the long duration, that is ranges from 4 to 96 hours. Why? Because the host defense mechanism, or the host defense, the immune cells, what they are doing, they are interacting with or associated with the microorganisms, they are associated with the cells of the immune system, and they produce pathogen associated molecular patterns, and these patterns, they are molecules which kills the bacteria. So what are the immune cells which plays a very essential role in early induced innate immunity? They are phagocytic cells. The phagocytic cells which are present in most of the body parts. In blood they are WBC, and in the tissue also they are present, along with other cells such as neutrophils, eosinophiles and macrophages. So they plays a very essential role in early induced innate immunity. While the inflammation mediation is also due to leukocytes and eosinophils, which comes under the early induced innate immunity. And finally, the natural killer cells, they also plays a very essential role in early induced innate immune system or immune response. So in such a way we have discussed about immunity, definitions, innate immunity, its types. So further, innate immunity, that is inborn immunity, can be also divided into three types. They are species immunity, racial immunity and individual immunity. We have also seen this in a previous chart. So what do you mean by species innate immunity? If a pathogen is infecting to a one kind of species only and not the another kind of species, and this is known as innate immunity. Race, that is specified innate immunity. That means, for example, the bacillus anthrax, this bacillus anthrax is infecting to human but not the chicken. So this is a species resistance to the pathogen. This species only infect to the human but not the chicken. It comes under the innate immunity, which is related to species speciality. But next is a racial type of innate immunity. In the racial type of immunity, you will see that a species or a pathogen is infecting to a specified species only but not the another. Just for example, a sheep, Algerian sheep, which is highly resistant, while the other sheep in the Algerian rather than Algerian, which shows the infection in them. That means, just for example, the Algerian sheep which is found in the India, for example only, for India, they are highly resistant to a certain type of pathogen only, but same ship, when it is present in different side of the world, it get infected. So this type of innate racial immunity is due to the racial interaction nature with the pathogen. And finally, we come to individual type of innate immunity. So what comes under individual immunity? So in the individual immunity, just for example, a virus, any virus is infecting to most of the pathogen which is related to red blood cells. If the red blood cells is not proper in shape, the virus is unable to infect that organism. From thousands of people, one of the patient is suffering from the sickle cell anemia disease, and the virus unable to infect that individual. In such case, that type of innate immunity is known as individual innate immunity. So in such a way, we have discussed about the various terminologies and types of innate immunity. Now we are going to discuss about what are the factors influencing the level of innate immunity. So first factor we are going to discuss about which influence the innate immunity, that is age. So when we look over the various stages of age in life, there are various types of immunity we are going to discuss. So when the organism is present in the fetus of a mother, so in that time various types of immune factors, they are getting it from the mother only. But still certain diseases are there which can be caused in that fetus stage also, that is HIV or rubella virus infection. So this infection can penetrate into or cross the placental barrier and enters into the fetus, and it can cause the infection. But at the various stages of life, you can see that the immunity is low in small children, and in the middle age or from the teen to middle age, the immunity is very much high as compared to old person and a inborn person. Old and inborn person is mostly susceptible to cause the infection for anything. It may be viruses or bacteria. For example, pneumonia. Pneumonia can be caused to a disease which is related to respiratory. It can be easily cause infection to small childs and a older age peoples. Next, the hormones is also influencing the innate immune system. Just for example, if an individual is suffering from the diabetes or any other hormonal issues, it is prone that there are more chances to cause infection to them, because due to a hormonal imbalancement, due to a hormonal instability, the organs and the cells which are responded for innate immune response is slightly reduced in their function, and hence in such conditions the person is easily affected with few types of bacteria. So examples are if the person is suffering from diabetes mellitus, hypothyroidism and adrenal dysfunctioning, they are more prone to the infection, that is streptococcal infection and candidiasis, etc. And you also observe that due to in the pregnancy stage, due to hormonal imbalance, that is steroidal imbalancement, uh, the female can be also susceptible to cause infection at pregnancy stage. So in such a way, the hormones and the age are responsible for influencing the innate immunity level. Again, finally, the nutrition is also takes place a very essential role for innate immunity, because whatever the hormonal or cellular response it is needed to provoke with the virus or a bacterial infection, we need a healthy body, and for the healthy body we need the healthy nutrition. And if the nutrition is well, if you see the person immunity or immune system is very good. It is observed that when there is a malnutrition in the human, which ultimately leads to increase in the rate of infection. For example, if you see that the malaria patient malnutrition due to famine stroke do not develop fever until the nutrition improves. That means here is the vice versa is there. If the person is unhealthy, the bacteria is not, or the bacteria or protozoa is not affecting that person on, because there is no nutrition or there is a low value nutrition in the body only. But most of the time it is seen that when there is a decrease in the immunity, it also lead to increase the susceptibility of most of the infections. So in this lecture we have discussed about immunity, innate immunity, types of innate immunity, and what are the factors which influencing the innate immunity. Thank you. Welcome to digital platform provided by Maharashtra State Board of Technical Education for the program Diploma in Medical Laboratory and Technology, and the subject title is Immunology, for the course title 19512. And in the today's lecture we are going to discuss about the acquired immune system with the types of acquired immune system, and finally local and herd type of immunity. So we all know that immunity is broadly divided into two types, that is innate immunity and acquired immunity. The acquired immunity is also known as specialized type of immunity, because whenever a person comes in contact with a pathogen, the immune cells and the whole body make a response against that bacteria, and that response result in the acquired resistance to the pathogen by the body. So in the concept map you can easily see that the acquired immunity is broadly divided into two types: active immunity and passive immunity. So what comes under the active immunity, what comes under passive immunity, we'll see later on, but you must suppose to know that is immunity can be also gained by artificially as well as naturally. So you can see this, the active immunity can be further divided into two types, that is naturally active immunity, artificially active immunity. Then passive immunity is divided into two types, naturally passive and artificially passive. So let's talk about in detail about the acquired immunity. Acquired immunity is also known as a specific immunity or adaptive immunity. Just now I told you that when the person get contact with certain bacteria, it acquires and adapts for the resistance against that bacteria. So acquired immunity means a resistance developed by the host body against foreign microbial substance or a microbes to the body by host defense is known as acquired immunity. The acquired immunity is broadly divided into two types, active immunity and passive immunity. So acquired immunity is broadly divided into two types depending upon whether the immunity is self developed or it is passively developed, that is active and passive. In active immunity, resistance developed as a result of antigenic stimulus by the host body. That means when a bacteria enters actively, or when a bacteria enters in the body shows adaptive and resistance to that pathogen, that is active immunity. While the passive immunity, in the passive immunity the host body get resistance passively by transmission of certain antibodies or certain factors from the other host body. So that is a passive immunity. So let's talk about in detail the natural acquired active immunity. In the natural acquired active immunity, just now I told you that in the active immunity the pathogen must be enter into the body and the resistance and the adaptation of the host body must be takes place. That means in naturally acquired active immunity, the pathogen when enters live, it develops, the body develops the resistance and it is immunized. It comes under the natural acquired immunity. While in the artificially acquired active immunity, especially look over that naturally acquired active immunity and artificially acquired active immunity. So in artificially acquired artificially acquired active immunity, here certain pathogens that is intentionally injected or exposed to the person to form the resistance against that pathogen. In simple way, when doctor injects any vaccine, any bacterial vaccine to us, that is a bacteria which is injected into, it is a kill form of bacteria, that is attenuated partially kill form of bacteria, is injected in a small amount in the host body artificially, that comes under active, that is artificially acquired active immunity. So in such a way, natural infection or artificial infection which acquires the immunity against the pathogen, the whole things comes under the active immunity. Now let's talk about the passive immunity. The passive immunity is also a type of acquired, that is, it is also type of acquired immunity, where certain passively transmitted antibodies are gained from other host body. That is, in a passive immunity, the immunity develops in an individual by transfer of antibodies from another person, from one person to another person. That is, it comes under a passively acquired immunity. So this passively immunity is further divided into two types: natural acquired passive immunity, artificial acquired passive immunity. The natural acquired passive immunity, it comes where during the pregnancy the antibodies are transmitted from maternal to fetus through the placenta barrier, which comes under naturally acquired passive immunity, while artificially acquired passive immunity, where to protect against the bacteria or some infection, a person is injected with a transfused antibody made by some other person. So in such a way, what we exactly doing is transferring of antibodies artificially made by another body to a host person. That comes under the artificially acquired passive immunity. So next point comes under is the measurement of immunity. So there are four methods to measure the immunity. In that, first we are discussing about the antibodies. When a person is infected with any disease or any pathogen which caused the disease, it produces the antibodies. So if there is a presence of antibodies, it says that, or it concludes that the person is infected with that pathogen. If the number of antibodies are less, that means currently or just now the infection has occurred within 2 to 3 days only. If there is a tremendous increase in the antibodies number, that means the exponential phase of immunity, that means immunity is properly working against the pathogen. Certain other test is also there, that is agglutination test. This agglutination test is used to detect, to measure the number of antibodies present in the blood against a known pathogen. So it can also easily use to measure the immunity. In the same way, ELISA test is also there, which there is type of direct and indirect ELISA, which is used to mostly used to detect most of the pathogenic bacteria. And finally, the skin test. So to detect or to measure the immunity, a small amount of pathogens are injected into the host skin to measure the production of antibodies. That means whether the immune system is properly functioning or not. It can be easily measured by following four methods. After completion of this topic, we are going to discuss about we are going to discuss about the local immunity. So what do you mean by local immunity? Local immunity is the natural infection or the artificial live vaccination is admitted through a local site by orally or intranasally, and at the site of entry the special immunity is developed to a particular region only. That is known as local immunity. Immunoglobulins plays a very essential role in local immunity. For the example of the local immunity is when we discuss about the poliomyelitis vaccination, that is polio vaccination, where the vaccination is administered orally, which enters into the stomach, that is a digestive system, and interact with the gut immune system and protects or develops the natural infection which protects the host from the polio infection, and that is done by the live oral immunization process. So this term comes under the localized immunization. So now we are going to discuss about the herd immunity. It is also known as the population immunity. Now, how a population immunity can be helpful for us? Just for example, currently we are facing a situation that is COVID-19, and to avoid the infection rate, we are getting to be vaccinated with COVID-19. Means what? If the 95% of the population is vaccinated, if and only 5% or only 2% population is infected, the remaining 4% people will be immunized. That means it get protection from that virus. Means what? If 2% population is infected and you have vaccinated up to 95% vaccination, and remaining 3% of the population will indirectly immunized. That means herd immunity is also known as a population immunity, where indirect protection from the infectious disease is happen, where the population is immunized either through vaccination or immune developed through the previous infection. So in such a way we have discussed about in detail the acquired immunity, types of acquired immunity, localized and herd immunity. Thank you. Welcome to the digital platform provided by Maharashtra State Board of Technical Education for the course Diploma in Medical Laboratory Technology, and the course code is 19616 for the subject immunology. And in today's unit outcome first, fifth, we are going to discuss about the immune response. In the immune response, we are going to discuss in detail that what do you mean by the immune response and what are the types of immune response. So what do you mean by a humoral immune response? It comes under the immune response type, and number second is cell mediated, that is a cellular immune response. So in the when we look over the course outcome of today's lecture, we are going to discuss about again in short the immunity, then what do you mean by immune response, and what is the immune response is broadly divided into two types, that is humoral immune response and cell mediated, that is cellular immune response. So let's talk by one. So we all know that is immunity is the resistance against the disease. So in that resistance that is given by immune system, and that immune system consists of cells and tissues. Nevertheless, they also consist of certain systems, certain organs is also there. In last unit outcome we have discussed about the organelles of immune system. Now in the today's lecture we are going to discuss about the immune response. So immune response means whenever the pathogen enters into the body, the immune system get activated by certain molecules or by certain cells, and how they activated and showing certain responses or certain action on that antigen or foreign particles. So that is known as the immune response. Now the immune response is mediated by two ways, that is a humoral immune response and cell mediated immune response. So what do you mean by humoral immune response? So the humoral immune response is the response which is generated by the B cell, which is transferred into a plasma cell, and the plasma cell produces the antibody. The immune response where against the pathogen the antibodies are produced by the B cells, and such a response is known as a humoral immune response. It is also known as chemical mediated immune response or a humoral immune response where the antibodies plays an essential role. So let's discuss in detail the immune response. The immune response is how the body recognizes and defend itself from the bacteria, viruses or any foreign particles. So for defending that is known as immune response, and we have discussed about the humoral immune response. In detail we are going to discuss about the humoral immune response. The humoral immune response is mediated by B cells. Now B cells is also known as B lymphocyte. This B lymphocyte actually, when antigen binds to these cells releases interleukins, and they also stimulates the T cells and also B cells. So in most of the cases, so this plasma cells is important to regenerate or to regenerate itself when they are come in contact with the antigens, that is they proliferate itself. Now the plasma cells identify the antigen and it produces the antibodies. These antibodies are released in the circular system and they are circulate throughout whole the body. That means this cell, that is B cell, is essential to generate humoral immune response, that is antibody mediated immune response. So the antibodies are the molecules which binds with the antigen and neutralize the antigen. So hence this type of immune response is known as humoral or chemical mediated immune response. Now after this humoral response we are going to discuss about the cell mediated immune response. So this cell mediated immune response does not contain or does not involve the antibodies in it, but the cell mediated immune response, the name itself says that certain factors that is activated by macrophages. That means the macrophages, natural killer cells, they have been activated the production of antigen specific toxins by T lymphocyte, and certain cytokines is also released when the cells are come in contact with the antigen, and the cells shows the response against the antigen. That means certain factors which are being get activated, and we activate the cells, that is immune cells. Now this immune cells we will going to discuss about the cytotoxic T lymphocyte. The cytotoxic T lymphocyte is also known as T cell or T killer cell, which when get activated by other cells, they show the killing effect to the antigen. So let's begin with the mechanism. Now let's begin with the mechanism of cell mediated immune response. When we look over the mechanism of cell mediated immune response, the T lymphocyte, that is T cell, now we all know that the T cell is produced by the primary lymphoid organ, which we know that bone marrow. Now this bone marrow is responsible for production of T cell, while the maturation of T cell takes place, or the maturation of T cell takes place in the thymus. Now after maturation of this T cell, this T cells is usually present in the blood as well as some sort of tissue. Now when they come in contact with certain antigens or certain factors responsible to activate the T antigen, now let's see that. So these T cells, what is function? The T cells is a response to any cell that displays abbreviated, that is MHC, that is which is also known as major histocompatibility components, which are involved to activate the T cells. Now these T cells, that is helper T cells, are releases, that is helper T cells. We also know that the T cells is broadly divided into three types, that is T helper cell, T cytotoxic T cell, and T suppressor cell. Now the T helper cell is activated by B cell. When B cell activates the T cell, the T cell releases interleukins. Now this interleukins is when they are produced when the B cell releases the cytokines and certain other components, and also the certain non-specific antigens, that is NK cell and macrophage, they also destroy certain factors, but they also releases certain components which activate the helper T cell. Certain cells display the antigen, that is antigen producing cells, they are phagocytic cells, and certain phagocytic cells show the antigen to these cells, that is T cells, and they activate the T cell by showing the major histocompatibility protein, that is MHC1 on endogenous enzyme, and the T cell get proliferated and produces the cytotoxic T cell, and the cytotoxic T cell directly kills the other cells, that is bacterial cell or any other invading cell. So in such a way, whenever you are looking towards the cell mediated immune response, there are few immune cells which play a very essential role to showing the immune response. Now immune response, we know that immune response is any response which is generated by the invading of the pathogen in the body. Now for that, the chemical mediated immune response is mediated by B cells, that is B lymphocytes, especially B plasma cell, and they produces the antibodies. These antibodies interact with the antigen and reduces the response. While the cellular mediated immune response is generated by the T cell, and here the T cell plays a very essential role. The T cell is activated by certain B cells or certain NK cells or certain antigen producing cells, and they produces proliferate to form cytotoxic T cell, and the cytotoxic T cells directly interact with the bacteria or related antigen and kills the pathogen. Now in such a way, the whole immune response, what do you mean by immune response, what are the types of immune response, and what are the humoral and cellular response, and what is the detailed mechanism of the immune response we have discussed. Thank you. Welcome to digital platform provided by Maharashtra State Board of Technical Education for the course Diploma in Medical Laboratory Technology and this program is running for the subject immunology, whose subject code is 19616. And in today's lecture we are going to discuss about a very important topic, which is related to immune system, where the organs, that is lymphoid organs, which are essential to play an important role in immune system, which play essential role in immune response, as well as the cells which also involved in immune response, we will go to study. So first of all, we will discuss about the concept map of today's lecture. So on today's lecture will be going on, so we are going to discuss about what do you mean by immunity, then again in short immune system we will discuss, and that immune system, depending upon the organs or cell involved in the immune system, they are broadly divided into two types: cellular, that is central lymphoid organ, and cellular or cells which are involved in immune system. And depending upon the response is also humoral and cellular immune response, which is the next unit outcome after this. So in the today's outcome we are going to discuss about what are the central lymphoid organ. Again, the central lymphoid organ is broadly divided into two types: primary lymphoid organ and secondary lymphoid organ. So what comes under the primary lymphoid organ, what comes under the secondary lymphoid organ, and lastly in today's lecture we are going to discuss about what are the cells of immune system which play essential role in immunity. So let's begin with certain short definitions, and we will move over our main content, that is lymphoid organ, its types, and finally what are the cells which are involved in lymphoid organ. So again, when we look over that, we have also discussed in the unit outcome first, that is immunology, which we are going to discuss about the immune system. And immune system is totally depend upon, that is definition is totally depend upon the cell, tissue, organ which gives resistance against the infection, that is known as immune system. Now this immune system, now in today's lecture we are going to discuss about the immune system, and in that immune system what they are coming or what it consists of. The immune system consists of certain cells and lymphoid organs which are involved in immune system. So let's begin with what are they, what is primary lymphoid organ, what is secondary lymphoid organ. So lymphoid organ, what it exactly mean? The body uses a lymphoid system like a circulatory system. The lymph fluid, tissue fluid, that is called as lymphoid system, and which enables lymphocytes, they are the certain molecules which encounter against or with attach with antigen to form the adaptive immune response. So in the lymphoid system it consists of, broadly divided into two types, that is primary lymphoid organ and secondary lymphoid organ. So what comes under the primary lymphoid organ we will discuss. In the primary lymphoid organ, the primary lymphoid organ is broadly divided into two types, or we can say primary lymphoid organ consists of two main organelles, that is one is bone marrow, second is thymus. What do you mean by bone marrow? Bone marrow is present in the bone. that has certain stem cells. The stem cells are the cells which have a high regeneration capacity, and from that stem cells various cells are produced. They are some blood cells is also produced, and certain immune cells. In that immune cells, the B and T lymphocytes are produced in bone marrow only, and in that bone marrow these B lymphocytes and T lymphocytes is produced, while this B lymphocyte which is produced from the bone marrow matures, but these B lymphocytes, when it interacts with pathogen, they are important against the adaptive immune response. So what we are saying, that the bone marrow is a primary lymphoid organ which produces certain lymphocytes, that is B lymphocytes and T lymphocytes, and they are very essential to perform a adaptive immune response. Next is thymus. Now this thymus is a lobed organ which is located near the heart and beneath the breastbone, and it is the largest larger when the fetus in the fetus. So in the secondary lymphoid organ, it consists of spleen, lymph node, and mucosal associated lymphoid tissue. It is also known as MALT. So one by one we are going to discuss about the spleen, lymph node, and MALT. So spleen is the largest beam shaped organ which consists of lymphocytes and phagocytes. So what it is, it consists of lymphocytes. Now you will just see that the lymphocytes are produced by primary lymphoid organ, that is bone marrow, and it migrates to spleen and lymph node where they get certain associated, or they get interact with the pathogens. So here the spleen is the largest organelle where it consists of lymphocytes and phagocytes, and it act as a filter to trap the pathogen in it. So the old blood cell recycling and the platelets and the white blood cells are stored there. The spleen also help to fight certain kind of bacteria that causes pneumonia and meningitis. If the person spleen is not functional, that means its immune system is totally weak, and if the spleen is completely collapsed, it may leads to death of the person. So spleen plays a very essential role, which is a part of secondary lymphoid organ which filters the blood. Next, lymph node. Now these lymph nodes are the small bean shaped glands which are located in the lymphatic system, and this lymph node is also working like a filter. It is also analog to security guard, which also filters the bacteria, virus, parasites, and other foraging material. So this lymph nodes is present in tissue, while the mucus associated lymphoid tissue, that is MALT, it is located within the lining of main tracts, that is it is present inside the respiratory tract, digestive tract, urinary tract, urogenital tract. These MALTs consist of 50% of lymphocyte tissue, that's lymphocytes in the human body, and they trap the pathogen, interact with the pathogen, and destroy the pathogen. So in such a way we have discussed about the spleen, lymph node, and MALT. Also it comes under the secondary lymphoid organ, but also we have discussed about the primary lymphoid organ, that is a bone marrow, and we have also discussed about the thymus. So in such a way, primary lymphoid organ and secondary lymphoid organ we have discussed. Now we will go to discuss now what are the cells of immune system. or cells involved in immune system. So let's discuss about what are the cells of immune system. So cells of immune system consist of the lymphocytes are the principal cells placed in the adaptive immune response. Now the lymphocytes is broadly divided into most properly divided into three types. So see, they are the B lymphocytes, T lymphocytes and natural killer cells. These B lymphocyte cells, that is B cells, which is B and T cells, these both are produced by the primary lymphoid organ, and the primary lymphoid organ which is producing these cells are the bone marrow. Now when the B cell produces humoral immune response, we will talk to later. B cell when interact with any pathogen, it can store the memory and as well as it can produces the antibodies against the pathogen. While T cells also divided into two to three types, that is T helper cell, T cytotoxic cell and T suppressive cell. And this T cell, that is T cytotoxic cell, is mostly responsible for the killing machinery. We can also killing machinery because it interact with the bacteria and directly kill, while the natural killer cells is also a phagocytic cell. So in such a way, these cells which play an essential role in adaptive immune response. So these natural killer cells also interact with the pathogen and shows the phagocytic effect. The T cell also, and B cell, it act as a memory cell and it also produces the humoral immune response. They are the lymphocytes. These are the lymphocytes, which are the group of cells. Now second special category, that is phagocytic cells. Now the phagocytic cells are the cells which protect the body by ingesting the organisms. So in the phagocytic cells, we are going to discuss about the phagocytic cells are the cells which engulf the foraging bacteria or particle or dead cell or dying cell or abnormal cell also sometimes. So these phagocytic cells actually engulf any unwanted bacteria, unwanted cell, that is a non-self, and they actually reduces the infection rate by killing them. So they are monocytes, macrophages and white blood cells. So next, they are macrophages are the cells which detect the phagocytosis, that is a destruction of bacteria by engulfing it. So they can also important because these macrophage cells trap the bacteria and present this bacteria to T cells, and then T cell releases some molecules and activates other cells. So this function is of macrophages. While the granulocyte cells, they are also a type of white blood cells which play essential role in fight of infection, that is it play an essential role like the phagocytic cells, but they produce a certain other components which are different from phagocytic cells. That means these cells are neutrophils, basophils and eosinophils. These cells produces certain granules, hence they are known as granules of cells, and these granules when they are released in the blood, it interacts with the bacterial cell and it affect the bacterial morphology. So neutrophils are present in the blood, and its nature or increase when the neutrophils increase in the body, it suggests that, or it directly states that there is something infection is going on in body, or certain injuries or certain type of stress is present in the body, hence the neutrophils number is increased. While the basophils is also a type of granulosa cell, that is WBC, and they are also responsible to fighting against the fungal and bacterial infection and viruses, basophils. And eosinophils, if there is a present, it can directly say that certain parasitic such as protozoal infection, if there is a there, the eosinophils concentration is high, or in a allergic reaction or cancerous patient, the eosinophil cells concentration is usually shown in a higher rate. So in such a way, we have discussed about what are the lymphoid organ, types of lymphoid organ, primary, secondary, and what are the cells or cells which involved in cellular immune response. We have discussed in detail. Thank you. Welcome to everyone on the digital platform which is provided by Maharashtra State Board of Technical Education for the program detail Diploma in Medical Laboratory Technology, for the course title Immunology, and the subject code is 19616. So in the unit outcome 2, we are going to discuss about the mechanism of innate immunity. In the previous lecture, we have discussed about the definition related to immunology, that is, define immunology, what are the factors influencing the immunology, study of immune system, and what is the mechanism of innate immunity. So in the today's lecture, we are going to discuss more detail about what is the mechanism which is involved in the innate immunity. To know that, you must supposed to know that immunity is broadly divided into two types, innate and acquired immunity. Innate immunity is also known as inborn immunity. Inborn immunity, that means by birth we are getting this innate immunity. So this innate immunity, what is the mechanism of innate immunity? So to study the detailed mechanism of innate immunity, you must suppose to know that the entire mechanism of innate immunity is broadly divided into two types. First is the first line of defense, and next is the second line of defense. So in detail we are going to discuss. So let's talk about for what through this concept we are going to discuss what are the components of innate immune response and what is the mechanism through which the innate immunity works and defend the body from pathogenic microorganisms. So let's begin with the mechanism of innate immunity. So before going to start the mechanism of innate immunity, again one chart is there which shows that the mechanism of innate immunity is broadly divided into two types, first line and second line. In the first line, you will see that the first line of innate immune response is shown by skin and mucus. So the skin and mucus is the component of first line of innate immunity which play essential role in inborn immunity. So how they are playing, we will discuss. So see now the content, that is the mechanism of innate immunity is broadly categorized into two types, that is first line of defense, that is skin, and second line of defense, that is certain epithelial cells and other. So in the second line of defense you must supposed to see about the epithelial cells. In second line of defense the components are mostly the antimicrobial, protein and phagocytosis cells. This play important role. So when we look over the second line of defense, you will see the epithelial cell surface, the antibacterial substances present in blood and tissue, and microbial antagonistics, cell factor in innate immunity, inflammation and acute phase protein. So these 6 to 7 components. So mostly we are discussing about the 6 component of the second line of defense, that is in the innate immunity. While the first line of defense, it comes skin and mucus. So in that we are going to discuss about the first line, that is epithelial surface. This is first content, and before epithelial surface you must know the first line of defense. So in the first line of defense it comes the skin and the mucus. So skin is a type of first line of defense where most of the pathogenic microorganisms are usually is barrier to the body. It acts as a barrier to enter the pathogenic bacteria into the body. That means it is a barrier which does not allow any or most of the bacteria to enter inside the body. While the mucus is also a first line of barrier which is present inside the body and inhibit most of the microorganisms. This mucus is a secretion of the tissue and mostly present in nasal, mouth as well as the genital, and it is also present in intestinal cavity, which does not allow any pathogenic bacteria to enter inside it. It traps most of the microorganism in it. So in such a way the first line of defense mechanism is shown by the skin and the mucus. While when we look over the second line of defense, in the second line of defense the epithelial cell surfaces plays an essential role. So we will see after looking after the first line of defense, the second line of defense, that is epithelial cell surface. So epithelial cell surface, mostly the healthy skin, the respiratory mucus, the nose anatomy, mucus line and mucopolysaccharide. So they also whole comes under the second line of defense. So it is a part of a skin, that is a healthy skin, epithelial surface, which also act as a line of defense along with the first line of defense, that is skin. It is epithelial surface is a part of a skin. So it comes under first also, it comes under first line of defense also, and in the second line of defense also. So in the sweat and salt which is secreted by the healthy skin usually inhibit the growth of most of the microorganisms. Hence epithelial cells reduces the pathogenic bacteria number while the respiratory mucus which is secreted by the tract also plays an essential role in preventing the disease. Then nose anatomy, which also comes under the epithelial cell surface, which also prevents the entry of microorganism in the nasal cavity. Mucus line, just now I told that the mucus line which is essential to trap the most of the microorganisms. And finally the mucopolysaccharide. The mucopolysaccharides are the compound which are secreted by the epithelial cells. They mostly commonly known as glycosamines, and they are also essential to reduce an entry of pathogenic organism inside the body. So after looking after the epithelial cell surface, we are going to discuss about the antibacterial substances which act as a second line of defense in the mechanism of innate immunity. There are antibacterial substances which are present in the blood and tissue, which also plays an essential role in the mechanism of innate immune response. So the substances which are present in the blood and the tissue are the beta lysine. These beta lysines are the amino acid which are produced by platelets and form the coagulation when they are come in contact with the antibacterial substances. That means these amino acids forms the coagulation with the antibacterial substances and indicates that the presence of unknown substances inside the body. So in such a way beta lactin is essential. Next, the basic polypeptide, that is leukins. The leukins are the bactericidal, that is bacterial killing components which are secreted by the leukocytes. They are the cells which they are the immune cells which has importance to kill the foreign microorganisms. Next, interferons. So the interferons are the substances which are produced against the viruses and bacteria, and they are produced by most of the immune cells, which makes the alarming signals and activation of immune system. So in such a way the antibacterial substances present in blood and tissue plays an essential role. That is, we just now saw what is the mechanism that these components which are present in blood and tissue in such a way that they produces the innate immune response. So next compound we are going to discuss about the microbacterial antagonism. So what they are? There are several types of bacteria which act as a normal flora on the human body, which to be considered in the immune response to create colonization pathogenic bacteria. On the example are the presence of streptococcus bacteria on the mouth. That means microbial antagonism are the organisms which are present as a normal flora in the human body and which also is supposed to reduce the infection. How that means? That is, the streptococcus bacteria is present in the mouth and some part of the skin, and in the presence of this bacteria other pathogenic bacteria unable to colonize in that surfaces, and in such a way they reduces the infection chances by their colonization. So next thing we are seeing over, that is the cellular factors which initiates the innate immune response. So what are the cellular factors? They are the phagocytic cells and the natural killer cells. The phagocyte and the natural killer cells are the cells which shows a cellular innate immune response. Means what? The cells has tendency to show the phagocytic movement. Phagocytic movement is nothing but, or a phagocytosis is the process where a certain cells engulf the bacteria, viruses and kill itself. That is, they has ability to eat bacteria and viruses and completely kill them. So such cells are phagocytic cells. So in that phagocytic cells they have certain chemical digestive enzymes which kill them and produces certain chemical signals, while the natural killer cells, they have lymphocytes. They are a type of lymphocytes or a class of lymphocytes that defense mechanism mostly against the viruses and abnormal cells, and the abnormal cells are the cancerous cells. So the cancerous cells and mostly the viral cells are killed by the natural killer cells. So next thing comes under, that is mechanism of innate immunity, is the inflammation. So inflammation is a response that is a non-specific response which is act as a defense mechanism and plays an essential role in the innate immune response by killing or activating the microorganisms. So in that, the most common response you are seeing, that is a fever. The fever is an essential role, as the fever, that is temperature is raised, the raise in the temperature accelerates the physiological processes, and these physiological processes inhibits the growth of microorganism and they destroy the microorganisms, and they also stimulate the interferon pathways, which when activated reduces the bacterial numbers in the body. So in the final thing, we are going to discuss about the mechanism of innate immunity, that is acute phase protein. These acute phase protein are mostly present in the blood, which increases the inflammation that takes place due to phage proteins, that is known as CRP protein. These proteins as well as mantle binding proteins, when get activated, they produces or they enhance or they stimulate the alternative pathway and complementary pathway and interferon pathway, due to which there is a tremendous stimulation to immune system, and this type of acute phase proteins are mostly seen when the tissue injury or the muscle injury takes place. To reduce the infection, such type of acute phase protein plays a very essential role in the mechanism of innate immunity. So just now we have discussed about the mechanism of innate immunity and the components of the various components, that how they are playing a role in the innate immunity.